So good morning, let's check our mail, but before we do that, I brought my very comfy blanket that I'm going to open right now, and I'm going to make myself comfortable in a chair here to tell you about my mail. So let's open my cozy blanket, and guess what, kids? This is a very special blanket. I might be able to show you later, but it actually glows in the dark. So here we are, ready to tell you my story in my comfy blanket. And look what I got, mail. This came for me a long while back, and now I'm ready to share with you today. So let's take a look. So this is a book that finally came, and I'm very excited about it. It's called Adventures in Petlandia. And who's in this story? Well, nobody else but my dog, Rosie, which is where this story begins. To Fran, may this book always be a reminder of how much you and Rosie adore each other. Rosie lived in Surrey and dreamed of being a star with her very own TV show and chauffeur-driven car. But being cute and furry made stardom rather tough, especially as the only words she knew were woof and rough. Feeling brave, she folded up her PJs and flannels along with some ideas for her Rosie YouTube channel. Sneaking into Fran's room, she crawled and scrawled a doggy note, then kissed her gently on the cheek and went to get her coat. Scampering through the moonlight streets with thoughts of being wealthy, Rosie stopped beside a sign and thought, I'll take a selfie. Pulling out her iPhone, she posed and took a snap, then headed to the airport while squinting at her map. Rosie was excited because she'd never flown before, unless you count the time she slammed the laptop on her paw. And as the plane took off, she thought A-list hounds and mutts while trying to squish her nose into a teeny bag of nuts. When Rosie got to Hollywood, she set up several meets, but most of them went wrong because she tinkled on her seats. And even though she tried her best, the top dogs weren't impressed. They've seen your act before, kid, and look at how you're dressed. With failure after failure, Rosie confined. Her confidence was shrinking, but then she saw a saxophone, which kind of got her thinking. I need to learn some new tricks to really make me shine, and then I'll make some videos and post them all online. Woof, 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 woofity woof, 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 woof. Meanwhile, back in Surrey, Fran found the note. My dog thinks he'll be famous. Oh, what a silly goat. But suddenly she looked up and saw Rosie on the news. She'd become an online superstar with 50 million views. It seemed dogs can learn new tricks, Fran thought out loud. And even though she missed her friend, she was also very proud. there was Rosie on a chat show tootling away while teetering on a unicycle doing dog ballet. Soon the world was going wild for Rosie's jolly tunes. She could even buy a storybook and see her in cartoons. She bought a doggy mansion and a limo and a yacht. She even met her president and partied quite a lot. Other doggies lined up to shake Rosie by the paw, and scripts for pet-based movies came tumbling through the door. But when she wasn't working, she'd often be alone. Because she felt so lonely, Rosie bought more stuff. But even though she had it all, it was never quite enough. Look. She tried some doggy yoga, which she thought might make her happy. But that just tied her up in knots and made her sore and snappy. Then suddenly it hit her as she chewed her oldest bone. What Rosie wanted most was to be snuggled back at home. Yes, she'd miss her fancy life, the palm trees and her chauffeur, but none of that compared to cuddling Fran on the sofa at home. She called off all her concerts and she gave away her things, but all flights home were fully booked, so she clung on to the wing, hanging on for dear life as the plane took to the skies, made Rosie think of Fran, and tears welled in her eyes. Soaring over Surrey, Rosie thought, I've had a shot. But home is where the heart is, so I need a parachute. Fumbling in their suitcase, she found a sparkly gown, then used it as she leaped off to sort of slow her down. Tumbling through the fluffy clouds was really quite a rush, but Rosie had to slow down or she'd soon be doggy mush. Just then, she saw a mattress dumped upon a roof, so she steered herself towards it and landed with a woof. Jumping into Fran's arms, Rosie cried with joy. Then Fran squeezed the squeaker in a squishy, squashy toy. Fame is pretty epic, but snuggling is the best, thought Rosie as she curled up, enjoying her all well-earned rest. Miles away in Hollywood, things were much the same, and countless pets arrived each day to search for wealth and fame, and often spoke about that dog who played the saxophone, and how she left it all behind because she missed her home. But Rosie wasn't bothered that she'd given fame the shove, because the trip had taught her that what really counts is love. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for listening.